Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, guess what? There's a new camera on the market that is going to be the new camera that every other camera on the market is going to be compared against if you are in the RC hobby. In the RC hobby, we have, what do we have? We have action cameras like GoPro, we have the Insta360 with a 1-inch sensor. I have another one here. This is an Insta360 in an FPV drone. There's a lens on one side. I'll show it in this camera. Lens on one side and flip it over. And there's a lens on the other side. So it's a full-size camera in there in the drone. So basically, Insta360 in collaboration with Beta FPV created this new camera. Let me bring it close. That is a Naked Insta360. Watch when I turn it sideways. It's like the size of a credit card. It's like, well, okay, it's a little thicker than a credit card. If you had a credit card that thick, probably got a lot of credit. So basically what's been created is a naked version of these here Insta360 cameras, which are top of the line. Yeah, so what you're getting is a top of the line camera that is now so small, so light that it can fit on anything you want. Now, I'm in the drone hobby, hence Captain Drone, so I'm sticking it on drones. The camera, let me tell you about it, only weighs 30 grams. So 30 grams is not a lot in the camera world. And it actually records at 4K 60 frames per second highest resolution at 100 megabits, which is pretty darn amazing. It's got an f2.8 aperture, so you know when the sun's going down it still looks pretty good. And the equivalent of the lens on here, it's a wide field of view, but the equivalent is like having a wide-angled 16mm lens. It's really good. Now let me move this stuff out of the way and show you something really cool. This camera over here should be picking up the display, and this is a GoPro Hero 9, the most popular camera out of the GoPro series, the latest. Let me show you how much it weighs, put it down, and we're at 159 grams. A lot of us put this camera on our FPV drones and fly around, but we're flying with 159 grams of weight. Now, let me show you a camera that does exactly the same and weighs less. So here we got the little, you know, credit card size camera by Insta360, and there it is. Oh, 32 grams. Big difference if you're flying FPV or an RC plane. So the image out of both cameras is pretty much identical. Obviously this one here with the case on it and the battery built in and the display screen on the back is a lot of weight, and it is waterproof. This is not waterproof, obviously, because it's a naked version. It's chopped all down and there is no battery in it, but there is a speaker in it. There's sounds that pop out, and you have LED lights on the back. So let me show you how this here functions. So I'm going to take the just released Flywoo Explorer Hex, and I have the Insta360 that I'm going to stick on the front, and I'll show you how it all connects. So every drone you buy, you know, starting pretty much now, because I've noticed it in all the new drones I get, they all have a power supply coming right off the drone for a naked GoPro or this here camera. Yeah, it's like all forward compatible. So speaking of the power cable that's on the new drones to power these new naked cameras, it's right here. You probably can't see it. I'll hold it over at this camera. Now you can maybe see it a little bit better. And I'll show you even closer image right here. So there you go. Now you just take this cable and you plug it in the side of your camera. Right here, there's a little spot to plug it in. Now, say you had a drone or an RC plane and you didn't have that cable coming off it. No problem, because this camera is so modernly advanced that it takes anything from a 2S LiPo all the way up to a 6S LiPo. So that means it goes from like a 2S, which would be like, 7 volts, all the way up to like 20, way over 20, I don't know, 25 volts, 27 volts. This camera can handle it. You can plug that much power directly into the side. So you can take it right off a battery external, or you can take it right off the PDB, the power distribution board on a drone like this one has. Oops, quick change of plans. I just remembered I have Crossfire in this drone, and Crossfire messes up my microphone. So let me switch drones. All right, I've switched drones to the Beta 95X version 2. I do not have the version 3, but I will have it soon. This is the version 2, and there's the camera in the front. So to show this a lot better, I've detached the camera, so I have it here flopping around so I can show you how it works. This here drone's powered on. I've plugged in the battery, but look at the camera. Even though I have a wire attached, there's nothing showing that power is going to it. What you have to do is you actually have to power the camera camera on, and the first thing it's going to do is check the micro SD card I stuck inside. So this here button to the farthest side is the one you press, and watch the light. Press it, we'll get a sound. A little bit of a sound there, get a blue light. As soon as it goes solid, it means the micro SD card is good. If it blinks, it's not good, so it's perfect. And when I want to record, the next button in is the one I press. So let's press that, and we'll go into record mode. And we should see some red lights flashing. And there we go. We're recording. It's that simple. And if you want to see what the image looks like, I'm going to hold the camera here. And there we go. I'm in the image. Oh, get my fingers out of the way. There we go. I should be in the image. I don't know how good the image is because obviously there's no display on this camera. I'm just holding this out in front of me, but you can see exactly how it looks. So if I bring it up, there I am right there. And it should be smooth because this here has the technology in it that Insta360 is known for smoothing an image, just like GoPro, even better than GoPro actually. So you get super smooth images. It's not super bright in here, but I do have studio lights, so the image should be pretty good. All right, let me show you a bit more on this. Actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what the video quality looks like when I'm flying a drone. So I have some video that I took with the 95X. I took it out for a flight on a cold evening, and I have some video with the Flywoo Hex, the Explorer Hex, and I have some video from that, and I'm going to squish them together, both videos, and show you what that looks like right now. Check it out. All right, so I've got my Fat Shark goggles. I have my radio I'm going to use. In this case, I'm going to use the Taranis QX7 radio. And I have my little drone here with the camera on board. Check that out. It's right in the front. All set to go with a battery. I think I put, it's a 650 milliamp hour battery 4-cell on it. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to take it over to the park. All right, the radio's all ready to go. Now I just have to power on the drone by connecting the battery. There we go, that's all ready to go. Now let's turn on the camera. Probably see it in here. As I turn on the camera, the light in the rear should glow. So let's push that button. There we go, I see a blue light, we're all good. And I'm gonna hit this button for the record. Should see a red light flashing. Heard a sound. And I see a red light flashing on there, so we're all good. All right, I'm going to turn on my radio announcer voice and tell you all about this camera and what you're seeing in front of you. Now, this is the NAKED Insta360 on a tiny, tiny little Beta FPV X95. Look at this, flying into the sun. Most cameras would cause the exposure to go dark. This here, I left the exposure on auto and everything looks amazing. Next thing, check this out. Bouncing around with this tiny little drone, and look at how smooth it is. It looks like I'm on a boat flopping around. It's really, really good. And you can see here, the colors look quite nice. And if you do flips, there you go. It looks like a smooth flip. Some cameras, when you do a flip, if they have stability on, it messes up and it gets kind of jerky in the flip. But all in all, this camera is designed really well. And there is, if you get a little bit of jitter, I see a little bit of jitter right there. Right in that image with jitter, it comes with an ND filter. So if you get a tiny bit of jitter because you have all these motors on your drone bouncing things around, if you get a little bit of jitter, you put the ND filter on and it smooths everything out because it slows down the shutter. I didn't put the ND filter on, I should have, but look at this. It's so smooth looking without the ND filter. So all in all, this is one of the best cameras for drones or RC planes on the market. Now watch this maneuver. Do a little flip. I'm going to come down and land over in front of me really, really quick. Look at this. Awesome. Now, one thing that Insta360 did with this camera that I think is really sweet, I have not used this, but I think this is sweet, is they included 2 filters with the camera. The video footage you saw, there was no filters on either of these drones, but let me show you what the filters are right here. You can see them in the included box. So I have a clear one over here. That is clear. That's a UV filter. That filter you use to protect the lens. So, you know, when I fly drones, a lot of times I'll hit trees, branches, it's going to scratch up the lens. So you put the UV filter on over top to protect it. The next one over here is an ND filter. That ND filter, I'm trying to get the light just right. That ND filter over here, the ND filter is designed so that when you're flying, and a lot of drones or planes have jello because of vibrations, especially when it's cold. And I even had a little bit of that every now and then. When you put the ND filter on, it slows down the shutter so that you get no vibrations and everything is super, super smooth. Really good if you have a drone that vibrates, which most do because you have a lot of props and motors. There's vibrations on the drone. Now, a lot of you are asking, well, that drone footage looked really cool. Like the camera takes really good footage, but how do you change the settings? How do I change the resolutions? How do I change, anything to do with the image and all the format, the SD card, everything else? Well, the way you do it is you just connect your phone to it, just like you had a real Insta360 camera. I have one here, just like this one here with a 1-inch sensor. You power it on, you connect your phone, you can make changes to all the settings. The same thing here with my little 4K naked camera here. So it's powered on. I'm going to go into my phone and show you all the settings, and I'll put them up over here. First thing you do is just load your Insta360 app on your phone. At the bottom, you have a little yellow circle with a picture of a camera. Tap that. And then it says, do you want to connect your camera? Then you want to click on Connect Now. And there you go. I'll just lean back here. You should see me on the phone, and there I am. So basically, that's it. The camera's on. It's a live preview. And I'm going to look at my phone this way, and I'll put everything up there. So if I look at the bottom, you can see on the far right, that's a settings gear icon in video. And you can see at the bottom I have standard. There's my resolution. I can change it. See all those resolutions along the bottom? 4K 60, 4K 30, so on and so forth. You got quite a few. Ultra wide. I'm on ultra wide right now. I can go to wide, linear, narrow, standard. That would be the colors right now. I'm on vivid, it looks like. And there's even a log format, as you can see. And if I go over to standard, I have HDR video. I can put it on that. I'm in HDR, ultra wide. I'm going to hop out of those. I don't want the HDR. I just want standard video. You also notice I had time lapse and time shift. Those are special things. You're not going to do time shift with an FPV drone, but you might do time lapse. Next icon on the bottom into the side would be the one that's your exposure setting. So it's on auto right now. I can adjust exposure and the white balance. I'm not going to mess with that. If I go to the icon to the far left, I guess on my phone it's the far left, that shows me all the videos that are on the camera that I've taken. So if I click on that, and there you go, you can see me flying a drone in front of it. So the video that's playing, you can edit it any way you want and email it to whoever you wish. And the editing features on this here app are really, really good. At the very bottom, you can see the editing feature, download, ultra wide, trim speed, filters, adjust, everything else. So you can fix everything as you wish. Let's go back to our camera. And you'll also notice at the bottom, if I tap on that yellow icon, I then go into record mode. Now this camera is now recording me, and the video is going on the micro SD card, and I can do whatever I want with it after that. I can also stop the video. I can also switch it to photo mode. All right, this camera is pretty darn sweet. If you're in the hobby of FPV drones or drones in general or RC cars or planes, you got to get yourself something like this. It is pretty darn sweet to have, and I'll be using it a lot in upcoming videos because, like I said, all the FPV drones on the market nowadays are all coming with the external power to power this thing. So it's so simple, and you can stick it on little tiny drones. I don't even have one around here, but a little tiny drone. 30 grams, it can sit on it and fly. It's too easy. You can mount these things to anything. And if you don't know how to mount a camera to a drone, trust me, it's pretty simple. Zip ties, elastics, or you get the STL file. You just download it from the internet if you have a 3D printer, and you just print the mount of any shape or size you want. The STL files are all over the internet for this thing, and I'll put links below to where you can find them. So your next question is, what is the price of this? Well, I'm not really sure. They told me it would be just over $200 US, not on sale, just over $200 US. So think about it. If you buy a GoPro that records at 4K 60 with the smoothing technology and all the stuff, it's going to cost you way over $200 US. So if you get this thing, which only weighs 30 grams, you're going in the right direction if you're flying FPV or RC planes. So links are below. Check it out. It might be on sale. It might be a discount. It's before Christmas, and I know Insta360 has all these promotions on right now, like buy this and get this stuff free, things like that. So check the links below. And go check out this camera and see if it's for you. Could make a great Christmas gift for you. Yes, that's right, for you. Hey, honey, look what I bought. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions on this camera right here, well then, post them below and I'll get back to you. But for now, I say thanks for watching. Take care and catch you in the next video. Bye.